Good morning students, welcome to the social science class. Continuing the chapter manufacturing industries, today we are going to learn about classification of industry. Students, industry can be classified on four bases: on the basis of size, on the basis of finished products, on the basis of raw material, and on the basis of ownership. On the basis of size, industry can be subdivided into three parts: cottage industry, small scale industry, and large scale industry. On the basis of finished products, industry can be subdivided into two parts: basic industry, consumer industry. And on the basis of raw material, industry can be subdivided into four parts: agro-based industry, forest-based industry, animal-based industry, and mineral-based industry. And lastly, on the basis of ownership, industry can be divided into four parts, that is public sector, private sector, joint sector, and cooperative society. Now we will learn about each of them one by one. First of all, we will study about the type of industry classified on the basis of size. First is cottage industry. In cottage industry, manufacturer manufactures the products with his own hands. He can only take help of his family. The example of this type of industry is potters, weavers, blacksmith, etc. The manufacturer uses locally available raw material. No labor is employed. Next comes small scale industry. Small scale industry is an industry in which the investment is less than 1 crore. Also, the raw material is obtained locally, and if it is not available locally, it is obtained from outside. Small machines are used and labor is also used, but number of labor is less. Example of small scale industry is toy making, furniture making, and making of leather products. Next comes large scale industry. Large scale industry is an industry in which the investment is more than 1 crore rupees. Heavy machinery is used, large number of laborers are employed, and secondly, the raw material is obtained from any place of the country or from outside the country also. Now we come to next base, on the basis of finished products. On the basis of finished products, industry can be divided into two parts: basic industry and consumer industry. First of all, we will study about basic industry. Basic industry is an industry. The finished product of that industry is used as raw material in another industry. For example, iron and steel industry. The industry which produces iron and steel, this iron and steel is used as raw material in machine making industry and for tool making. Now, next comes consumer industry. Consumer industry produces goods which we use in our daily life. For example, biscuits, bread, TV, soap, etc. Now we come to third part: classification of industry on the basis of raw material. On this basis, industry can be divided into four parts. Agro-based industry. This is the industry which uses raw material which is obtained from farms. For example, sugar industry, cotton textile industry. Next comes forest-based industry. This industry uses raw material which is obtained from forest. For example, paper industry, furniture making industry, and medicines from medicinal herbs. Then comes animal-based industry. This industry uses raw material which is obtained from animals like eggs, milk, etc. Lastly is mineral based industry. This industry uses mineral as raw material. For example, iron and steel industry and other industries in which minerals are used. Lastly, we come to classification on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, industry can be divided into 4 subparts: public sector, private sector, joint sector, cooperative society. Public sector is owned and managed by government, or the investment is done by government. The example of such industry is VIII Steel Industry, Electrical, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Next comes private sector. In private sector, the industry is owned and managed by a single individual or a family or a group of people. The example of such industry is Tata, Iron and Steel Industry and Reliance. Next comes joint sector. In joint sector, industry is owned and managed by both by government or private individual or a family or a group of people. It is owned jointly by both. The example of such industry is Maruti Udyog. Next comes Cooperative Society. Cooperative Society, this type of industry is owned and managed by a group of people living in a particular area. For example, Lijjat Papad, for example, Amul of Gujarat. This is enough for the day. We will continue our lecture in the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.